It's Josh Weird at Adjacent Festival in Atlantic City, and we're in New Jersey, which is the hometown right here.
Home of Thursday.
Guys.
right.
How are you?
Good,
Jeff
we're
and
good.
Norman, good to see you guys.
Yeah, great to be here. Such a lovely day. And a
Yeah,
great
isn't
weekend.
it? Could have
yeah.
for better weather for a holiday weekend, right?
know, yeah.
So I know you guys are from here in Jersey, New Brunswick. So just up
New
the
Brunswick
turnpike,
is the hometown of the band.
right up the turnpike.
That's right.
And did you ever think you'd be playing like in Atlantic City back in the day? Like, I mean, you guys have been around for a while, so it's not like new, but it's like
Right.
Atlantic City is a big deal. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of stars have come through this
I mean,
glorious city.
my mom's from Ocean City.
Okay.
So, a little rivalry. But
Right down the
she's-
street here?
She's not here today.
Not
She
here
couldn't
today.
support us going to bat for Atlantic City.
Listen, Atlantic City's a great town.
It is,
Ocean
it is.
City's the dry town. You get to
Yeah.
drink here, so it's a
right.
little bit better.
Philosophically, we're
Exactly.
at odds.
Let me ask you a question. You wrote a novel.
I did.
And it just
yeah.
came out.
Comes out July 25th.
25th.
You can pre-order it right now.
Pre-order it right now. Tell me more about the novel. Give us the rundown with it.
Yeah, I started it 5 years ago. When I got sober, I needed an excuse to sit down, to not go out and find myself on a street corner,
Yeah.
So I just started with like no real expectation of it being published. But partway through, I got a great agent, and she started shopping around, and it's coming out. It's a pretty wild book.
Writer's block's a real thing. I've had it for about 44 years of my life. I can't write a thing. I have a very hard time writing anything.
Yeah, sure.
Let alone a novel. Was there any point where you're just like, I slammed the laptop down? I can't do this
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing that I learned is it's just like it had to become a practice for me, and I'd have to come and do something with my time every day, even if I was like I knew I was going the wrong direction and everything was horrible. I'd just show up and do it anyway, and I'd be like, okay, that whole draft, those 200 pages, garbage.
I've had that with stuff I've done on the radio where I'm just like, this doesn't sound good. Delete. I'm not going to use it anymore. Your album that came out back in 2003 turns 20 years old this year.
That's right.
And you're
yeah.
doing it in full in New York later this year in the fall.
We are on by the Palisades.
And
there.
I know the Atlantic City Press asked you if you were going to do it here, but it's a little dark.
It's a little dark. I mean, when we used to tour, I
it's
remember
so bright outside. There's
I
no
know,
reason
it's
to
so
do dark
beautiful
music.
out there. It's so beautiful. And Taking Back Sunday, when we used to play Warped Tour a lot with
Yeah.
them, they'd be like, when you guys come out, it's like the doom. It's the sky turns black, and
Such
it's
a downer.
Everybody gets sad. So today at the beach, we're keeping it a little lighter.
A little
with
lighter.
Some
Maybe
doom.
if it
But
rains.
you still got to wear the all black, even though it's listen. I only
With
put
this
on-
figure, I'm wearing all black.
You got to give it a little bit of contrast, but I'm still in my all black. I'm still doing that. But you're also doing that on a boat, is that right?
Yeah, we want to, so much of War All the Time takes place by the Palisades Cliffs there. It's like almost like a character on
Yeah.
the record. And we were like, we should just pull up a boat there and play it there at the cliffside, and it was kind of like a joke when it started.
Right.
And then the idea just sort of took off and everybody got really excited about it. And it's like even my parents couldn't get tickets. You know what I mean? It's such a
Have you ever
wild-
played on a boat before?
We have.
Just did.
Oh, where at?
Emo Cruise?
Emo Cruise.
Emo's not dead.
Casey, did you know about
Emo's
Emo
not
Cruise? That's our resident emo girl here. So,
Us, Dashboard,
all right, I'm sold.
bunch. Yeah.
Where was this?
It left from Southern California
that's
and went to
why.
Mexico, and the waves, they were like, you'll never feel it. It's a big boat.
Yeah.
And then there was a storm the first night, and the whole time was just
Oh my
like-
goodness.
It was insane. I couldn't balance and play guitar, and I was freaking out.
Our whole crew was throwing up. We did it ourselves. We
jeez.
carried all the equipment because they were all throwing up.
I saw a couple of bands on boats over the years. I just saw one a few weeks ago, and the speakers had to be down, like on the deck, because you can't put them on poles.
Oh, wow.
When
I
you're
never
on
thought of
a
that.
when you're on a boat, because you
Right.
go back and forth. Do you have to change? Like, what did you guys do? Just chain them up? Like, how did? Because the sound was coming from the bottom. I mean, sound doesn't travel up; it travels across. It's hard to hear it.
I just tried to play and leave as soon as possible. I literally was getting sick.
Well,
I had just fallen off stage and broken my leg
Yeah.
earlier that year. So I just was very conscious about staying on both of my legs while we played.
I wrote in my notes here that you're playing Riot Fest for the third straight year. That's huge this year.
Yeah.
Especially with the return of Foo Fighters and all that.
Sure.
That is a really good festival this year. I mean, Adjacent's awesome. I'm not,
Yeah.
putting down Adjacent at all, but like that's really cool to do that for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, especially this year. You know, we toured about 20 years ago with
Yeah.
The Cure, and now we get to reunite with The
so
Cure
great.
and
It's
see
so
them
great.
again. So I'm really excited about that.
2003 was a really good year for music. Mike and I were talking about it earlier.
Yes.
There were a lot of great albums that come out the year. Do you think it's just like a resurgence of the early 2000s now, or is it just like everything in music? It's cyclical. Everyone who liked in the 90s, people liked the 70s. Now we're here and we like the 90s. Is it?
There's always a resurgence. I mean, in 2 years we'll be like, you think 2005's coming back?
I don't want to see that music from the early 2000s kind of go to the wayside because it
Yeah.
was that post 9/11 music. A lot of people, like we say, real emotional, and it's just weird to me that it's been 20. Like
Jeff
mind-boggling.
and I were talking earlier about the difference between like real time and cultural time.
Right.
And I think there's like cultural time. It seemed 20 years when you say that, it
Yeah.
seems like, oh my God, that was forever ago. But for some reason in the culture right now, we don't see it. that
No, we
far
don't.
Back.
It's really not that far. And even like with the bands that we have, like Paramore and Bleachers, they've been doing their stuff for
Yeah.
so long, like you don't even realize
Yeah.
that now we're almost halfway through 2023. Like it's
Right.
mind-boggling to me. All right, last thing before I let you guys go, we're going to take this full circle with
love it.
with the interview. We're in Jersey. You're from Jersey. Bleachers from Jersey. Any collaborations with Jack?
I mean, maybe if he comes out on stage tonight, I will pass him a mic. For sure. That guy's got a voice. Go, you take a verse, Jack.
The energy he has
Yeah.
is unmatched. I saw him last year at Firefly, and I was just like, I can't. I was tired after watching his performance.
I don't know Jack, but my guess is that Jack is the coolest hang because like everybody like that works with him is like never wants to work with
Right.
anybody else. You know,
Right.
he must be the coolest guy.
In Jersey terms, it goes Bleachers Thursday, then Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah,
Always,
yeah.
always.
Bruce can come up there.
Always. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon. Jason, I appreciate it.
Thanks for having
You
us.
got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.